been an interesting time, but we're so excited to now focus on building the future of Bitcoin SV as the original Bitcoin. So some great things have happened in those last 2 months. A number of the top Bitcoin applications and projects have moved over to Bitcoin SV, many of them exclusively, such as CentB, Handcash, two of the best mobile wallets out there. MoneyButtonYours.org, one of the great applications from Bitcoin Cash, has gone full on to Bitcoin SV. A number of exchanges have added support and listed BSV. I think there's over 70 now around the world. Unwriter, the mysterious, very prolific Bitcoin developer, wrote this very powerful post that explained how, in Unwriter's view, Bitcoin SV is the real Bitcoin, and Unwriter was only going to develop projects just on Bitcoin SV going forward. Our Bitcoin Node SV development team is really focused on scaling initiatives. So we know it's critical to demonstrate the capacity of the Bitcoin SV blockchain to massively scale with big blocks. They've been running tests on a new scaling test network, demonstrating their success on the test network of showing not just a random large block, but sustained for 24 hours, 64 megabyte blocks, and even getting up to the 128 megabyte range. We're excited to now continue doing more work and get to live testing on the LiveNet with professional stress test team to show that this can happen in real life as well. That's been the whole problem for the 10-year history of Bitcoin. There have been developer groups that have wanted to make fundamental changes to the Bitcoin core design and protocol. And that's why Bitcoin, if we're honest, has not really grown and become what it was birthed to be. That started with Bitcoin Core's development team putting in limitations and restrictions on Bitcoin that should not have remained forever. It capped the block size to 1 megabyte, pursued off-chain attempts at processing transactions faster, such as the Lightning Network and other layer 2 solutions, and then most egregiously introduced segregated witness into the code in 2017, changing forever the definition of what Bitcoin was supposed to be, a chain of digital signatures. It no longer is on Bitcoin Core because of segregated witness's introduction. When you have these constant changes by developer groups to the base protocol, it makes it very hard to convince a big business, big enterprises, to spend their time, resources, and a lot of money to build applications on top of that blockchain. Think about it this way. What if the internet protocol was changing every 6 months because some developers wanted to try and experiment something with the internet? Would we have the robust internet that we have today with so many websites, applications, services operating on it? I would say no, because businesses would not want to invest on a platform that is not rock solid, but moving sand. That's why Bitcoin SV is committed just to restore the original Satoshi protocol. For Bitcoin SV's future, our node development team knew that it was critical to professionalize the entire Bitcoin development process so that big enterprises would feel comfortable operating on this blockchain. And that involves how we deal with security. One of the key things is a full security audit of the Bitcoin SV software. We believe this is the first time in the history of Bitcoin that any Bitcoin node implementation has been fully security audited. It's because it's time-consuming and it's expensive. But thanks to our partners at CoinGeek, we've got the funding to engage Trail of Bits, which is a top-tier security audit firm in the United States. They have worked on a number of other cryptocurrency and blockchain engagements for Psy, for RSK, and LivePeer. And their team is security auditing the code, providing recommendations for testing and improving quality assurance. Another thing we're doing is offering a world-class bug bounty program. And basically what that means is providing monetary rewards, incentives for the world's best security researchers to find, but then responsibly disclose any bugs or problems in the code. The team is offering, again, thanks to the funding from CoinGeek, bounties that match what Google, Microsoft, the biggest tech companies in the world offer, and it's designed to incentivize responsible disclosure of any security issues in the software. I know that the Bitcoin community, from where it started, doesn't like the idea of regulation or government laws And there are some who'd say Bitcoin's not subject to regulation or legal compliance. What I would say is that Bitcoin was designed to be a new form of electronic cash, right? Read the white paper, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, meaning it was designed to operate in a real world where people are using Bitcoin as a version of cash. That means it's going to be subject at some point to government laws. So rather than ignore laws that apply to those areas, we believe it's critical to convince the biggest businesses of the world to operate on Bitcoin SV, that we build an environment and ecosystem that is regulation friendly. That doesn't mean we want governments to over-regulate applications and services that operate on Bitcoin SV. We just want them to sensibly apply existing laws to this new world. You're not going to want to operate on a platform that appears lawless, right? That appears to encourage, decentralized marketplaces where you could buy anything you want, like a black market. That doesn't encourage big businesses to come. Bitcoin SV will grow, its value will grow, its usage will grow if the biggest businesses use it. And that means setting a framework that is regulation friendly. I think this is going to be the year of scaling. Our team is working on a lot of technical solutions to improve block and transaction propagation. We know that's critical. We know you don't just lift the block cap to a bigger number and all of a sudden, voila, the network operates easily with bigger blocks. So the team is working on solutions for that. We're planning some more testing. We've done some testing on a new scaling test network the team has constructed for Bitcoin SV. As I mentioned, it has been able to demonstrate recently sustained for 24 hours straight 64 megabyte blocks and even getting to 128 megabyte blocks. They can do sustained already on that test network, not quite as easily, and the team's working on solutions on that. So I got to give mad props to Steve Shatters and Daniel Connolly, who are leading the node development team for Bitcoin SV's reference implementation. We're planning more public stress tests to demonstrate what we believe is the massive throughput capacity of Bitcoin SV. For later releases, the plan is to continue to increase the default block cap. Right now it's 128 megabytes. The future plan is to go to 512 megabytes as a default block on a way to higher, 2 gigabyte in size. And the ultimate goal is to have no cap at all, no limit, and let miners configure whatever block size they want to accept. So this year is going to be dedicated really to scaling. Scale, 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 because we want to demonstrate that we were right in taking a stance to defend the original Bitcoin vision. We were right to have the battle with Bitcoin ABC, because if we hadn't done that, the original Bitcoin protocol and design wouldn't exist anymore. The changes that were made to Bitcoin Cash have deviated away from Bitcoin's vision. So I'm excited for this year to prove out the scaling vision Satoshi had from the very beginning, from 2009, 2010, when Satoshi was writing about the ability of Bitcoin to never hit a scale ceiling. We're excited to prove that out. So my message for those of you who are out in the Bitcoin and blockchain world, who are interested in Bitcoin SV, I would say this: no matter what stance you took during the battle between Bitcoin ABC and the Bitcoin SV camps last year, the Bitcoin SV ecosystem is open for everyone to join. If you believe in Bitcoin because you read that white paper and thought this is an amazing invention for the world, then you believe in Bitcoin SV. We have the plan, the commitment, and the resolve to see through the original Satoshi vision. So join us and say, we choose SV.